Brought to you by Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
Swung on, and that's blasted. High and deep, left center field. Way back there, home run, Thomas. And the Guardians have turned it around. 2-1 Cleveland.
Lock it in the slot. To the right side, it's Ty Bowman, who blocked a punt earlier. Running play here. To the 5, to the pylon. Touchdown to James White. Oh, my goodness.
That's what I preach, is one day at a time. Doesn't matter. You got to take it one day at a time and really just be disciplined enough in every facet of your life.
Nobody's trying to make Dabo out to be terrible, but what he is stubborn, and I would go so far as to say stupid. Because if you don't use the tools that you have at your disposal, you are dumb in today's world of college football.
There'll be some changes. I mean, there are going to be changes that take place, and it happens early in the season for the first few weeks, and it gets kind of settled on what they do best, and you've got to be flexible on your end.
The fact that he kind of pioneered the game to show that how the quarterback could really go out there and dictate how you play the position and how you play on the offensive side of the ball, and then getting to meet Lynn and how good of a person that he was.
First and foremost, just eliminating the run, making the guys one-dimensional just like any other game. And once you make a team one-dimensional and knowing exactly what they'll do in given situation, it gives us a chance as a defense to really pin our ears back and do exactly what we would like to do.
I'm excited. I definitely think it's a very cool opportunity to be able to play in front of a fan base who a lot of those people might not have seen the NFL game, might be their first NFL game. So I'm excited for it, and like I said, first one, so it'll be very exciting.
And good afternoon. Welcome to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB, 95.5 FM, the talk of the town. Welcome into the Tuesday show. It's game week. Game week. Steve Webster with you.
Oh, yeah.
Mike Hesher.
Oh, yeah.
Our studio engineer today, Landon Winkler.
Who's that?
Landon Winkler running the controls. So people don't understand, Hesh.
Yes.
What changes around here during game week? Everybody's on point a little bit more.
You betcha. We're like athletes. We focus more when this game week, right?
You're using athletes.
Well, we focus more. The adrenaline is flowing just a little bit higher this week, right?
It's a time when we just have to make sure that the colored ink cartridges are into the printer, so all these fancy colored spotty charts.
It's black and white right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll wait till game day to make it color, right?
I don't know. I always did get mine earlier because they run out on Friday, and then you've got black and white sheets.
Okay. Words of advice from an experienced veteran.
Yeah, a great weekend. College football, we had, baseball. The NFL gets going this week on Thursday, the Chiefs and Ravens. Let's get started, and we'll begin with our sounds the past 24 hours or so. Yeah. What a difference 1 week can make, Ash.
Oh, man, it's crazy, isn't it?
The call yesterday on WTAM, now, I was hoping Tom Hamilton, if you have to listen to a Cleveland Guardian highlight, but it wasn't him, but Lane Thomas, who's been on the bench for the Iuka Hustlers a lot here in the last month since he got traded. Well, he's starting to heat up and hit a home run yesterday, giving the Guardians a 2-1 lead. They go on to beat the Royals 4-2. Kansas City now 4.5 games out of the division lead, and a week ago they were tied for first.
But what gets me, they're 4.5 games up still in the wild card.
Boston's just been
collapsing,
playing as much bad as they are.
Well, 100% responsibility, no excuses. But the injury to Vinny Pasquantino really seems to have affected the offense.
You think?
Gee, Merry Christmas.
So where do you? And Matt Quatrero's not around because he's got some personal issues that he's dealing with, so he's going to be out there hoping to have him back tomorrow on the sidelines. So, but who do you move up? I don't think that you probably want, anyone else other than maybe Salvador Perez batting behind Bobby Witt Jr. because he's not getting anything to hit right now.
Well, they had Michael Massey batting third, yesterday?
What's that?
Holy mackerel.
Yeah, they've got some issues. Vinny's saying he wants to get back. I don't know. It's not like sucking through. However fast that bone heals.
You can't wish it. The bone has to heal.
Yeah, so the Royals, they've dropped 6 straight right now. But, again, still good. There's still enough time. This big stretch that we're talking about, that if they could go 10-10.
Right.
Well, they're 4-8 right now. Oh, let's see. They've got the Twins coming in this weekend, and then they go to New York to take on the Yankees. So, yeah, they're still in good shape. They just need a win.
A win would help immensely.
Just a win.
I wasn't too worried about Houston. I figured they might get swept down there, but
a 4-game sweep, that's hard to.
Well, Royals found out last week how tough a 4-game sweep is. You know,
Houston's not the same team that they.
No, they're not.
That they beat back in April.
Wow.
So the Royals trying to do something. I mean, they picked up 3 players over the weekend. They got Tommy Pham. I like that. He's
one of those.
He got hot when he signed with the Cardinals, and then he went cold, and then they released him, so they got him off waivers. They got Robbie Grossman off waivers from the Rangers. Then they made a trade. Yuli Gurriel, who got one of the biggest ovations over the weekend in Houston.
And now he's hurt.
Well, he hit the ball hard, and he's 40 years old, and he pulled up, although it's a minor hamstring strain.
Is there such a thing as a minor hamstring?
Well, it's hard to. It's like going grocery shopping after a hurricane warning's been out for like 2 days. Okay,
there's nothing left.
There's nothing left on the shelves right now.
And Tommy Pham, he's one of those. If he's on your team, you like him. If he's not, you dislike him. I've never liked him.
Well, hopefully he can get that spark because he was on it last year at the end of the season when he helped the Diamondbacks get to the World Series, and he stayed locked in the World Series.
Well,
too.
let's hope so. He does that for Royals' sake.
Kansas City. Oh, Hunter Renfroe looking at an early September return. They need Lorenzen back too. This is the adversity is taking place.
And they haven't faced any all year for the most part. So, it's a 6-month season. It's going to come.
Well, before they had a 6-game losing streak, they had not had a 5-game losing streak all season long. So we'll have the Royals and Guardians tonight starting at 6 here on KBGB.
They moved up there to their September time where they play half an hour earlier.
Well, that's what I was thinking, but then Friday they go back to 6:30.
Because it's a weekend.
Well, yeah.
Okay. They're going to confuse people. They had 30,000 there yesterday. I was kind of surprised at that.
They're in the middle of the pennant race. Why wouldn't you be?
Well, but
it's the last week, and it's Labor Day weekend.
But okay,
I would hope they would come out.
Well, but people spend their money on the Chiefs in Kansas City for the past couple of years, obviously. So, and then they got tonight. They got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday against the Guardians, and then they have the Chiefs home opener. So there's a lot of
excitement going on. We'll
talk about
money
the Chiefs
being
here
spent in just a minute. College football, Kansas State opens their season kind of the same way KU did. It's okay. They beat Tennessee Martin, 41-6. A call from Wyatt Thompson on Learfield. James White, his only carry of the game.
That's pretty good.
I'm glad we got that highlight in there, making it 41-6. You are doing fantastic, Hesh, okay? I'm just telling you. Avery Johnson, 14-21, 153 yards, 2 TDs, 1 interception. And J.D. Giddens leading the rushing attack, 13 carries, 128 yards.
Beggars can't be choosers on highlights sometimes.
So K-State now will play coming up
in New Orleans
against Tulane. They lost their coach from a year ago, but they're pretty good. And then you've got Arizona at home. So the K-State's schedule front-loaded. KU, meanwhile, they're going to have their hands full. They have to go to Illinois, who's looked pretty impressive over the weekend. So that's...
Didn't one of the two schools play Tulane last year? If my memory serves me correctly?
K-State lost to Tulane.
Okay. So they're
in Manhattan, not last year, but
a couple years ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think Tulane will have K-State's attention. And plus, we don't have preseason games for college football. Thank God we don't. But anyway, K-State and KU taking care of business. We'll talk to Jared Walbrock coming up tomorrow.
Correct.
And they had their season opener on Friday afternoon and picked up a win over Angelo State. Pretty good program.
And they play Emporia State, so it'll be an early judge on which program is better.
Stinking Hornets. Stinking Hornets.
Hornets.
Corky. Yeah. Stinger down.
Stinger down. That's what it was.
Stinger down. College football last night, Florida State. Well, they had to go to Ireland and, all this other distractions and thing. They'll come back and get it right. They're playing at home in Tallahassee. Boston College, 28-13. Florida State's 0-2. After they ran the table last year, went undefeated in the regular season, still did not get in the college football playoffs. But their head coach, Bill O'Brien, knows what it's all about, keeping it simple, whether it's football or academics or finances, depends on what you're getting from NIL.
One day at a time.
Florida State had won 5 straight against Boston College until Monday night. Paul Feinbaum on the SEC Network saying Dabo Swinney is stubborn and probably a little bit stupid.
I thought that sounds like Paul, doesn't it?
Clemson got beat by Georgia in their opener on Saturday. Georgia's number 1. There's nothing wrong, I guess, with losing. They got beat 34-3, though. And Dabo Swinney's made it very public. He's not into this transfer portal thing. He's not getting any transfers. So despite the fact that Clemson had more returning starters than Georgia did from a year ago, Georgia replaced their departed seniors with other players from top programs. Thus, you get 34-3. It's got to be tough. Dabo Swinney, all these Nick Saban's not coaching anymore.
You can be stubborn, and I think maybe they're right. Maybe he is being a little stupid by not playing the transfer portal.
Well, if he's...
does he want to continue to coach?
That's what I was going to say.
Holy mackerel.
At Clemson.
At Clemson, no doubt, yeah.
And that didn't help the ACC either, as far as strength of schedule and whether the ACC would get more than just their conference champion into the 12-team playoff. I'm excited about 12-team playoff. I really am.
Except if you're the 13th or 14th team, then you're going to be...
Who cares?
You know there's going to be arguments.
Of course there is.
Like Team 67 in the NCAA basketball tournament.
Andy Reid, 2 days away from the start of the season. They'll be facing an old foe, the Baltimore Ravens. Andy Reid says there'll be plenty of changes from the Ravens team that KC beat in last year's AFC Championship game. I watched the video on that. It was on YouTube about the game and leading up to it.
Oh, okay.
They've got these, it's really good.
Derrick Henry might be a little bit of a change for the Ravens.
There's that.
Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, that's good combination for the Ravens.
Well, yeah. Because you can just give to Derrick Henry, and then Lamar won't throw an interception at an opportune time.
Well, Derrick Henry has he really been to the Super Bowl?
Well, he's going to have a chance this year, wouldn't you think?
You would think so, yes.
Yeah, he scares me. The Chiefs' defense is not. They have not been able to be on the field at the same time. They've had guys out that have missed time. So this is going to be a huge challenge for Kansas City coming up. And then Patrick Mahomes was talking about beating Lenny
the Cool.
Yeah. But Roquan Smith, he's a stud. Talking about how do you stop the Chiefs? You make them one-dimensional, which they did a pretty good job of last year after the Chiefs got up on them. Chiefs didn't score, but their defense was in.
I don't know. Can you make them one-dimensional this year? We'll find out.
Well,
because
Hollywood Brown's not going to be there.
But Carson Steele, will he be the difference?
Well, he's going to have to be because the Chiefs will be down a running back.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire is not
That's
playing.
kind of a weird thing. He's out for 4. It's like a medical issue. He's got his
Have you heard about this?
PTSD?
Yeah, something happened in college or high school.
And it's
affected him now.
The Chiefs are paying him.
Right.
Which they don't have to.
Good for them.
But
I think Clark.
All of a sudden, and of course, I really wasn't following the Ravens that well. And I said, oh, yeah, that's right.
You kind of said that this morning. Oh, yeah, that's right. They have them. I was like, yeah, Derrick Henry. Yeah.
Derrick Henry scares me. So the Chiefs and Ravens will have that for you starting at 6 on Thursday night on B1043 The Point. Patrick Mahomes, he's about ready to break all of Len Dawson's franchise record for career yards is what this is going to be.
And figure out, Lenny played 14 years as a Chief or a Texan, and Patrick Mahomes is starting year 7 or 8 as a starter. I mean,
the offenses are
they're different. So now what he kind of says is, it's a whole different ballgame than it was when Lenny was playing.
Well, obviously, when the most iconic picture of Lenny Dawson is when he's in the locker room smoking a cigarette at halftime.
I Googled him this morning, and that's what came up.
That's what comes up, yeah. Get to the locker room, boys. I need to relax here a little bit here at halftime. Yeah, Len Dawson.
Was that at the Super Bowl? Do you remember what
I don't remember what picture that was. Yeah, the iconic photo. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is out. So let's see. Jordan Love.
Playing in Brazil.
Very exciting.
That's all he said 4 times. It's exciting.
It's going to be exciting when
you get mugged.
Terrorists attack the motel. Things are burning down. They're burning all over the world right now.
Well, there's a guy that got shot for the 49ers, got shot in San Francisco over the weekend.
Well, then there's San Francisco and those cities. Yeah, Jordan Love. So the Packers play the Eagles, coming up on Friday night in Brazil.
First time since 1970.
Do you think they're going to go out and walk around outside the motel?
I bet they do not have a choice.
I think I'd just stay in the motel and play video games and then hope there's a secure bus that's taking me down to the stadium and with armored person. Of course, you don't know. You can't trust. I don't know.
Do we know how long they're going to be there?
Well, I don't think they went down there a week early to just go down the beaches.
Okay, they're already down there?
I don't know.
Okay.
You wrote the story this morning.
Okay. Does Cole know?
Cole, do you think they're down there yet? Okay, yeah. Okay. I wasn't expecting that question. There you go. Sounds the past 24 hours or so. All right, Cole Rife. It's high school football time. The Houston Cardinals go to Zerger Field to take on the Pratt Greenbacks. We're going to preview that, plus other high school football in the area with Cole. Also coming up, Megan Bessaker will be with us, Barton Volleyball. All they've done is win their first 9 matches of the season, and they host Butler tomorrow night. So we'll talk about that. Also, Aubrey Olander from Little River. Yeah, 1,000-point score in basketball, back-to-back volleyball state champions. That's a pretty good sign, don't you think?
Not too bad. Local young lady.
Yep, so that's going to be in on Barton Volleyball as Sports Day, the Tuesday edition. Rolling on right after this on KVGB.
Get the power you need for your farm equipment. The power of peace of mind that dependable Cenex lubricants deliver. With decades of proven off-road performance backed by the industry-leading Cenex Total Protection Plan warranty. Cenex heavy-duty diesel engine oils, hydraulic fluids, gear lubricants, and greases are formulated to provide superior protection for load-bearing equipment. The power you need to keep your business running like a well-oiled machine.
Contact American Plains Co-op Fuel Department in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor.
Discover affordable education with Barton Online. Whether you're looking to pick up a class or earn your associate degree, we've got you covered for less than half the cost of a university. We are always enrolling with 5 sessions available this fall, including 16, 8, and 4-week sessions. Get started when it fits your schedule. Tackle your gen eds or the first 2 years of college with the low-cost pathway and save time and money with Barton Online. Visit online.bartonccc.edu and enroll today.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of Your Local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
He's the voice of Hoisington High School football, the Barton County Cougars, and the king of the tweeter machine. It's Cole Reif on Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Cole Reif joining us here on Sports Day. So I've got a question for you today. Hesher wants to know, when did Green Bay go to Brazil?
You know, I haven't checked their flight schedule. I'll have to get back to you on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I would leave plenty early, right?
Well,
you're Green Bay.
You'd want to, but I don't. Yeah. What if you're the voice of the Packers, or are you going to go out and sightsee?
Yeah, it's not every day you get to go to Brazil, so I would figure. Yeah, you would go at least. I would go at least 3 days, and then maybe tack on a couple days afterwards. But you got to get back in your routine anyway.
Yeah,
even if you're the broadcaster.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to go to Brazil and become a hostage. I don't know if
Brazil's any question.
There's some bad things going on down there. Zone. Yeah, you talk about. But anyway, good. It's game week, man.
It is game week. I had to double check, make sure I was on today. I was like, just the typical Monday vibes, but Tuesday. No, we're good. I'm just trying to play catch up now.
Have you checked the color ink levels?
No, I always just guess that it's going to be fine. Well, I haven't gotten burned on it yet.
Okay.
I think one time the printer wasn't printing like legal size sheets, so I got permission to go to OPI.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, I haven't gotten burned on it yet.
Here we go. So, thoughts on the Cardinals and how they performed? I guess overall your thoughts. I mean, there's 4 teams down there. I don't know if you had a chance to zero in on all of them, but the Jamboree here in Great Bend on Friday night.
Yeah, I was. Obviously the two that you're focused on for me was Hoisington, but then Great Bend. So those two for sure. I mean, Scott City is going to be really, really good. That was the one thing that I took away from that. They're going to be solid. I think Salina South still has some ways to go. New head coach. They'll get it going eventually, but I thought, they probably looked the worst. I thought at times Hoisington looked the best. But I think you can make that case for everybody because I think, Scott City kind of took it to them in the final because the way they paired it up, they go, varsity offense like Hoisington going up against Salina South, varsity defense, then it'll switch and eventually play everybody. And I don't know if you get 8 or 10 plays, whatever it is offensively. But then they went like the full field, so you kind of were the feature. So then I think the first one was Hoisington against Scott City toward the end of the Jamboree. And, Scott City moved down. I think they actually eventually scored twice on that because, if you score early, you still get a few more plays, so you get to go again. And, Hoisington had some struggles offensively, didn't score. So, I mean, it's a Jamboree. But, so I think Scott City looks solid. I think they matched up the best against Salina South. The very first defensive series, they matched up against Great Bend, and Great Bend didn't score on them. And I thought that was pretty good against Great Bend's varsity offense in that first one. So, defensively, I was really impressed for the most part. There were a few lapses as they went along. I think they gave up an easy touchdown pass to Scott City. Salina South went over the top of them for their score, but I thought overall it was a pretty good defensive showing against the Cougars. I thought defensively, kind of like we said last week, I thought, was going to be ahead of the offense, and that was it. There were a few nice plays offensively. Taylor Morales had a few nice cuts and got in the end zone. Taryn Kraft wasn't used a ton, and he doesn't really need to be.
Right.
But, the biggest thing, they came out there, Ren Gala started at quarterback for a few plays, and then eventually Jason Robinson came in. So still, whether or not they're going to go full-time Ren, whether or not they're going to go full-time Jason Robinson, I mean, who knows? But they'll have their option. I thought both of them had some pretty good moments there at QB.
K-State, Joe Klanderman is K-State's defensive coordinator. And it's something that's pretty obvious when you think about it, but if you don't think about it, he was talking about, the Wildcat defense getting ready to face different types of offenses. And he says that's the best thing about what they do. They're multiple. They've got quarterback runs. They throw the ball down the field. There's a little bit of option in there, but there's a lot of, there's passing down. Hoiston never gets to see that, right? So we get into games, and the first time maybe they face a passing team, so I can't stop they never get a practice against it.
And Great Bend's obviously a spread out look, with Coach Beck and them. So I mean that was nice. Salina South's pretty much a multi. They mix it up. Then you got Scott City that's more power. So it was good to see some different looks. I mean, I go back to even last year. I mean, Heston mixed it up a little bit. Obviously, Southeast of Saline was all over, especially throwing the football. So they got to see a few mixes there. Norton was fairly balanced, and then, Nemaha was heavy run. So, I mean, they've seen a variety, but I've always felt like...
the first game of Lions last year, okay?
Right.
Lions is throwing the ball all over the place. Well, they've got it figured out, but again, you just don't see it all the time. So it's...
Yeah, I mean, even like last year's kind of like, obviously any type of high school football, especially at the lower classes, you always think, okay, establish the run. Like if you can be run heavy, power to you, you're going to win a lot of games. But I always feel like, if you want to throw in Hoisington's secondary, power to you. Because, I mean, last year, you're talking about Jason Robinson, Mason Alderdice, Marty was out there, Carson Mason, eventually Tony Moore's in the secondaries. Like, good luck. And this year, I think the secondary is pretty good, too.
Okay, I think
the secondary is fine.
No, come on. You've said everybody over the wall. He says we can't play. No, it's just a look that you get early in the years. I think they did just fine.
Yeah, I think it was a good variety. I mean, that was a good variety. When you talk about Salina South, Scott City, and Great Bend, the type of offenses that they were able to see, I thought it was really, really good. I mean, the biggest question for me is probably, getting some new bodies on that defensive line. So, Braden Stevenson didn't go out for football this year. So, I mean, he was going to be a big piece, on both sides of the football. So, without him, and you're losing Caden Hoffman on the line from last year, you go with that 3-4 look, and, Colin Motter should have a good season. Probably Leighton Hoffman will be, at the nose guard, and then C.J. Bryant, man, he was a lot of fun to watch. I mean, he was fun to watch all, the half the season that he was able to get in last year as the transfer. And he's just that undersized defensive end that provides a menace. And like Hoisington, like the last undersized guy that was really good was like Josh Ball. And CJ probably has more speed than Josh, but Josh did it so well that he would just get around, those big guys. And, CJ Bryant has that ability, and he's going to need it because they're going to have to track down some of these quicker quarterbacks. So that's probably the biggest question after those first three. I mean, you bring in Xavier Chambers, the guys like that, but, some rotation on that defensive line will probably be the biggest question defensively.
So if you're going in and the number one thing that you're curious about seeing in a game situation on Friday night, what would that be for you think?
Quarterback play. I mean, for sure, quarterback play. I mean, I haven't had a sit-down talk with Zach yet, as far as, is it 100%, Jason Robinson, is it 100% Ren Gala? So, like we said, both of them look good, but, quarterback play, whoever it's going to be under center, maybe it's both, whatever it may be, how do they handle it? Can they throw the ball, even just a little bit to keep the, the defense at least somewhat honest. So I think that's the biggest issue right now. And then, there's a couple pieces on that offensive line that are still trying to get together. We talked about the experience, but without Stevenson, you're trying to plug in a new guy. And we saw Brody Corbett. He was the first guy out there, at right tackle. And Colin Motter returns, Hoffman returns, Chamber returns, and then Brady Reif was plugged in late, on that offensive line last year. But, together collectively, I mean, it's always going to be different on the offensive line, but especially, getting a young guy like a sophomore and Brody Corbett, if he ends up being the starting tackle, that's going to be big too. But I would say quarterback play, just to see how either Gala or J-Rob perform.
Connor Nickel really likes Pratt. I mean, they've got some players coming back, but they lose a very
key guy.
Yeah. And talking about a quarterback or whatever Pratt runs, whatever you want to call him, but he's not there this year. So
yeah, Max Uni was a stud.
Max Uni.
Yeah,
yes.
Max Uni was really, really good, and they lost a really good, O-lineman too. So yeah, they're like we talked last week. They're similar to Hoisington. They didn't have a huge senior class, but they lost a couple big pieces, and it starts with Max Uni. But Tay Wilson was a guy that was a second thought to Max Uni last year. He's good. I mean, he can run the show, and at times he had to, even in that Hoisington game last year when Uni was banged up. And, I think the first play from scrimmage in their jamboree down in Dodge City, was it Wagner? No, it was Owen. Owen took it, on an end around and went to the house on the very first play. So, I mean, they got some capable guys. I mean, you're talking about returning, 9 starters, offensively and defensively on both sides of the ball. So, yeah, this is a Pratt team that's very capable. And it's just almost like if you got a couple good athletes with that style, and as long as you're physical up front, like, you're always going to be good. You don't have to have a tremendous amount of talent. And I think that was one of the main reasons why Pratt switched over to that style, where they were kind of running a little bit low on, those big-time playmakers, and this style fits that, where, hey, if you got 1 or 2 guys in that backfield that can make a play, that's it, and the rest of you guys just need to be tough. And that's the way it's worked out pretty well for them. And just the unfortunate thing, they've had a lot of really good teams that have gone 6-3, 7-2, but they run into a tough district in Class 3A, and it just doesn't mean a whole lot when you have a good year and you're running into Andale or obviously last year with Cheney. But they're talented. They've been really good. They just haven't been able to get over the hump in 3A, and not too many teams have been able to do so on the west side.
Okay, K-Preps, did you turn your rankings in?
I haven't turned it in yet. I haven't seen anything from Gilmore, so I haven't submitted any rankings yet. Yeah,
we kind of use the K-Preps. I mean, John Betts will be on here tomorrow, and I kind of glanced at his in Kansas pregame. It's just a reference point, but it is cool when you see the rankings.
I always feel like the first week of the season is just kind of everyone scrambling to get everything in line and just
get the schedule.
I'm trying to get into the rhythm too, just like, your cadences and your marks and what you would always refer to. But like, I think, there's other publications that are doing the same, like, we need to get this out. We need to get this publication out. So I think everyone's doing the same too.
How good's Heston going to be?
Heston will be okay. They lost
next week, right?
That's next week at home. That's their only home game in the month of September for Hoisington. So that'll be a nice week 2 matchup. And then Scott City. So you already saw them at the Jamboree. And then you get them in week 3. Southwestern Heights starts out district play in week 4. And then you got the big home game against Cheney.
Now, again, Zach's getting old and crotchety now. He doesn't like when people say things. So I'll probably get this because it's Zerger Field. It's
sure.
tight. And, of course, I'm being from down there. They played at that same location for over 100 years now. And they've got this school. It's a great setting for high school football, great place to start the season. And you've got a big green frog. I don't know what that is down there.
Yeah, it's a faded frog now. that field, I don't know if it needs to get updated. It's pretty hard now.
Yes,
yeah,
it is.
It is. But still, I remember going there for one of the first times I went there. A decade ago. It was kind of one of the first high school fields I saw the alternating greens on the turf, which was cool. Like Emporia State had done it, before that, and now Hoisington has that alternating green every 10 yards, and I always thought that was cool for Zerger Field. The thing about this rivalry is that there's been a ton of close games no matter what. Like outside of the game a couple of years ago that, Pratt, took Hoisington to the woodshed, outside of that, I mean, it's been close. So one score, maybe somewhere within 10 points, give or take. So even last year, I thought, Hoisington went in, even though it was on the road, as the favorite. I mean, Pratt had a lead in the second half. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to fully expect, especially week 1. We've got new pieces, and you're trying to figure things out. Pratt will be in the same boat, but I expect a really good game because there just hasn't been very many games between these two since Zach has taken over that have not been fairly entertaining.
Okay, one more question to, tick off the Hoisington people here today.
Sure, let's get some material. Let's go.
Because John Betts has Hoisington, I think, 3rd or 5th. Three in Kansas Pregame Magazine. But are there more questions surrounding this year's team than there have been in recent years?
No, I think back to that 2017 team that, coming off that 16, that was the 16 team that, like Holt Hanslick, but Hunter Hanslick and Tyler Speck and Cam Davis and those guys, that went to the semifinal round for the first time ever. Ended up losing to Heston, but that 17 team, I mean, that team was loaded with seniors in 16. That 17 team had a lot of questions, and that was still the worst year that Hoisington has had under Zach, going 7-4 in the second round of playoffs. So that team had a lot of questions. I think the team after Wyatt Pedigo and Riley Filburn in 2020 had a lot of questions, although in-house, everyone was pretty excited because they had a ton of seniors coming back, and they eventually went to the state championship game that year without Pedigo, as following his senior year. So I think those teams had more questions on them. This team has a ton of playmakers coming back. I mean, it was fun to watch. I mean, just seeing Morales out there again. Kyler Russell made some plays. Marty and Tua out there. Caden Chambers, a guy that's going to be getting more playing time. We talked about C.J. Bryant, and obviously Jason Robinson. But, yeah, this team has a ton of playmakers, so I don't think they have as many questions, especially defensively. Now, we said all off season, anytime you have to have a new quarterback, I mean, that's a big position to change. So that's a big one. But at the same time, I think this team has a lot more pieces or answers from the last year.
Where are you going to eat after the game?
Well,
Woody's is gone.
Yes, it's tragedy there in Pratt. I mean, we've hit Sonic before on the way out.
It's always a nice alternate. Plus, it's just right up the street.
Yeah, I don't know. There's got to be something else down on Main Street, right?
Well, I think it's less than 60 miles too, so I don't really think that you need to eat after the game.
We're starving after that game. A long time in between the
excited?
Snack route. Yeah, really. It's just those pregame jitters and just kind of. I think biggest thing for me is just like I'm just got so many questions. I just want to see how it'll play out, good or bad. Just like okay, how's this guy going to perform? Is this guy better?
You just told me they didn't have a lot of questions.
Well, but you still have the internal ones.
Okay, all right. Okay,
is this guy going to be better? Because that was always one of my favorite things during the off season is like, what did you add to your game? Especially basketball, like you can really kind of pinpoint it down. Okay, hey, this guy was a really good outside shooter. Can he drive the ball now? Football, are you a little bit quicker? Are you a little bit stronger? What did you add to your game? So there's a few guys like individually, like what did you do that now you're better at or you added? So yeah, that's what's going to be fun Friday night.
And that's one of the reasons why those questions have been answered the last decade at Hoisington, because they are getting bigger, they're getting faster, they're getting stronger.
Year after year.
That grumpy coach over there, man, he makes sure that happens. Just kidding, Zach, just kidding.
And hopefully, I mean, who knows? Hopefully Friday night, but obviously sitting on win number 99 for Zach. It would have really been cool to see him get 100, in the state championship game last year, but sitting on 99 and, man, his record stacks up with anybody in the entire state. I mean, I put him as one of the best coaches of any classification. What he's been able to do, and that coaching staff has really stayed intact over his now 11 years outside of like one guy that they've been rotating. So, Matt Kelsch and Kyle Haxton and Rob England, those guys, are now Steiner on there. But, those guys have been there, the entire run with Zach. And, yeah, they're up there with any program. Now they just want to get that final checkbox, and win an actual state championship. But what they've been able to do over these last 10-plus years has been remarkable.
They let Dean sit down on the track down there on the...
Dean sits wherever he wants, man.
Well,
he's one of the presidents of Hoisington and Hoisington High School, and obviously athletic department. But he has his lawn chair camped out over there on the east side, over on the east side of the east end zone.
Okay, so
on the north or the south side. Sorry. So yeah,
so they let him. Well, are you going to argue with him?
Yeah, I mean, he even plops down anywhere he wants on the road. Now, every once in a while.
That's what I mean. Is he going to have the seat down there?
Oh yeah, when he's on for Friday. Yeah, I mean, because I've seen a few instances happen where there's question on whether or not he would be able to sit in a certain location, and then then Dean Baird takes over his Dean Baird role, and then he usually wins that battle. So I feared not for where Dean is going to sit.
Cole, thanks.
You bet.
Cole Reif with us on Sports Day. Going to talk Barton volleyball. Megan Bessaker along with Aubrey Olander from Little River in that.
From the Mayo Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB Great Bend and 95.5 FM K238CK Hoisington.
When it comes to car maintenance, it's good to know a local guy that can get things done. The Eller family has been in the auto repair business in Great Bend forever. Greg Eller continues that long tradition of helping people. Eller Automotive Repair specializes in wheel alignments, oil changes, and general maintenance for all makes and models of cars and small trucks. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4 Fridays. Eller Automotive Repair at 915 Morton, right behind Great Bend Appliance, Furniture, and Sleep Source, 10th and Morton.
Dr. Nels here, Animal Medical Center, and today I wanted to visit with you about the power of a multi-doctor practice. And the power of a multi-doctor practice is we can serve many different people, many different personalities. The power of a multi-doctor practice is we have a lot of horsepower here, a lot of people. We can get a lot done. We can say yes, we can get you taken care of. The other cool thing about a multi-doctor practice is we're all different personalities, we're all different makes and models. Dr. Nels here, Animal Medical Center, large or small, we take care of them all.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
It's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Welcome back. Sports Day here on a Tuesday. Show brought to you in part by Equity Bank. Right here beside you, equitybank.com, American Plains Co-op Bulk Fuel Department, your certified Cenex lubricant dealer in Great Bend, and the Animal Medical Center. Big or small, they take care of them all at Animal Medical Center. Joining us now, Barton Volleyball. Megan Bessiker, head coach of the Lady Cougars. Also, freshman Aubrey Olander in on them. Welcome to the show, guys. I'm glad you could come in. Everybody wants to get off to a good start every year, right, Megan?
Yes.
I mean, so 9-0s would probably, that would rate as a good start.
Yeah, I'd say so.
9-0, 5-0 last weekend. Tell me about the challenge that you faced in Dodge City.
Yeah, so I think every week or every game so far, we've gotten a little bit tougher on the teams we play. Obviously, opening weekend, everyone's still a little bit rusty, and then all the teams just keep getting better. We did a really good job last week. We played a lot of Texas schools. We got a really big challenge from Eastern Arizona, and then we finished off the weekend well with Otero. So we're starting conference this week, and we get into probably the toughest part of our schedule the next week and a half. So we'll see how the next week and a half go, hopefully like it's been the first 2 weeks.
It's okay. You got Navarro on there, Panola, Eastern Arizona. The quality brands have been on that schedule. That's got to make you a little bit, or feel even better that you can go 9-0 against those teams.
Yeah, it was one of our goals this year was to challenge ourselves a little bit more in the preseason with our tournaments, and I think we've done that, and we've rose to the challenge so far. Next weekend is going to be probably our toughest challenge we've had, but I think we're ready. We're doing the things we need to be doing. We're still getting a lot better. We're still getting a feel for things. I'm just excited to see what we can keep doing.
Well, as the coaching cliche goes, we want to play, the most improvement happens between the first game or maybe the first tournament and the second tournament. Did you see that from your club?
I think we struggled in a few areas. We didn't struggle with opening weekend, but we were playing tougher teams. So, some of those teams put us in those positions to where we struggle. But we still, feel like we played pretty consistent, other than we slacked off a couple sets against Eastern Arizona, missed a little bit too many serves, just made some uncharacteristic errors, but we bounced back in the fifth. We finished the game, and then the next day we were back to our normal selves. But I do give a lot of credit to Eastern Arizona for that. They put us in situations we hadn't been in before, and I think overall it helped us, learn and overcome some adversity there. So it helped.
Yeah, heck of a way to get started. So tell me about Aubrey Olander that you brought in today. Now, I will say that it was a great land for you, but, we would have had to fire Trevor had she not come down here.
Right. Aubrey's been great for us. We talk about how we have a lot of sophomores on the court, and Aubrey's one of the only freshmen that's playing some significant minutes, and she's done a really good job of stepping in and learning quickly. She puts in a lot of work. She put in a lot of work over the summer just to kind of get adjusted to the college game a little bit. She's still adjusting a little, but she's come a long ways already, and she provides us with a big net presence, and she has definitely continued to get better since the beginning of season.
Okay. I've got to ask this because I never had a chance to win a state. You did 2, right?
Yes.
In volleyball.
Uh-huh.
Did you get one in basketball too in that stretch there?
We got second.
Yeah, okay. How'd that feel to go make it back to back at
It was
the revered Little River High School?
It was a pretty great feeling. We had a lot of community around us too, which helped, made everything so much more fun. But just to be able to do it twice is amazing too.
Okay, so I was just kidding about Trevor and everything, but, because you go in there, I'm sure there's other schools that were interested in you. Talk about the recruiting process when your coach is, wife of the AD out on the hill.
Yeah, I had multiple colleges reach out to me, but Megan definitely talked to me the most, and that's kind of what got me, leaning towards Barton, and just the fact that it's close to home too, and it's kind of a smaller community, and that's what I came from. So just more comfortable here than I feel like I would have been anywhere else.
Now, sometimes people's decisions on where they want to go, how much am I going to play? What am I going to... You knew that you were stepping in there with a program that had a lot of returning players. That shows that you're pretty competitive, but kind of thought about that, because I'm sure Megan had said, well, no, we'd lose everybody. But you knew that there's a lot of returning players to this year's team.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they didn't let it bother you then.
No, I knew that. I mean, I didn't know that I was going to be playing as much as I was, but even if I didn't get to play as much this year, then I'd get more time next year, and just working every day during practice and to get better and make your teammates better too is important. So,
what's the biggest difference coming from, a very successful high school program to competing in one of the top volleyball conferences in junior college across the country?
It's definitely just a lot faster. Like, the net play is a lot more intense. Blocking is one of the biggest things I've had to adjust to, because the hits are faster, the setters are harder to read. It's a lot more intense than high school volleyball, but it's been kind of hard to adjust to, but I'm getting there, I think. So
you mentioned setters are harder to read. What kind of things are you looking at a setter to kind of know where she's setting, where she wants to put that ball?
A lot of the hands, like where she's at on the court too, if she's out of system and it's going to be going outside, you can tell because just where her body's facing, that kind of thing. So.
Do they try to fake you out?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That's
yeah.
They throw the old curveball every now and then, huh?
Yes.
So thoughts on what you've seen from this team, and what was your strategy to fit into a veteran lineup?
I was definitely very nervous coming in because everybody already knew each other, but they're very accepting and very just a fun group of girls to be around. Everybody's got such great personalities that it's really easy to fit in and get to know them all. So,
okay, Aubrey Olander with us right now. I was doing my recon, Megan, to find out, and I saw the picture last year when you signed to go to Barton, and there was a lot of young people around you. You come from a big family.
Yes, I do. Yep.
But just one sister, though,
yes.
right?
Yes. Yes.
4 brothers?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we can probably, the Olander family will be well represented for the Redskins in years to come.
Oh, yes,
right?
they definitely will.
Okay, does anything change this week? You come back, of course, it's a short weekend. You have the Labor Day, and then you jump right in. What have you heard about Butler?
They're a very good team. They're definitely going to give us a challenge, and I know this is a big game for us, so just looking forward to having some great competition and to playing at home so we get the more support and everything, too. So I'm looking forward to playing my first home game here.
What a way to kick off the home season.
Right.
Megan, this is going to be a big one right out of the chute. Obviously you drop it. Doesn't mean you can't bounce back, but you owe these guys a little bit, right?
We do. We talked about Butler since the end of last year. They ended our season last year, so we've talked about how many returners we have. So that's a game that they've been looking forward to and, want to win. It's also our home opener. We had some pretty good crowds last year, so we're hoping for the same thing starting tomorrow. But Butler is definitely one of the biggest competitors for us in the conference and could potentially, be a conference championship game that's happening week 1. We do get to play everyone twice, which is nice, but definitely need to get them at home. you'll see both of us kind of in the top of the conference standings. So it's a very big home opener and a very big game right out the gate for conference.
Okay, what time does that start tomorrow?
6:30.
6:30.
Mhm.
So tell me about Butler. Do they return the numbers?
They
or?
return, I think, 3 to 4 starters,
Okay.
depending on the game. They were very strong last year. They had a little bit more depth than us last year and were a little heavier sophomore, but they do return some key players from last year. They did a really good job about playing tough competition right out, too, so they've seen a lot of teams that play at the level that we do. So it's definitely going to be a hard matchup tomorrow. I think we're up for the challenge and we're looking forward to it, but I think it'll be one of our tougher games and probably one of the best games to get out and watch at home, just because the environment, they travel well sometimes too. They had a lot of fans in our gym last year, so we're definitely ready for tomorrow, and yeah, we'll see what happens.
How's preparations change? You go to a tournament, obviously facing a number of different teams. What kind of preparation you go in when you start getting these individual matches in conference?
We prepare for every team no matter what, but it is nice to kind of prepare for one game and not 4 to 5 games in a 2-day span. But, you know, when you get to conference, you learn each other so much quicker because you're watching your conference opponents so much more. So just as much as we're learning things about them, they're doing the same about us. So we just have to learn to make adjustments and see what adjustments they make to their lineup as well as ours. But it is nice to focus on one game instead of, you know, the 4 that are ahead of you in 2 days.
Aubrey, you're like a grizzled veteran now. You've already got 9 matches under you. But what are your thoughts on getting to play at home for the first time? What are you thinking here a little over 24 hours before that?
Yeah, I'm very excited to be able to play at home. I know there's a lot of Little River people that are coming out to support too, so that makes everything better. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to our first home game. So
The Little River section. Look out. Look out.
Yeah.
Well, Aubrey, thanks for coming in today. Good luck, and glad that you're a Lady Cougar. And Megan, keep it up, and we'll talk to you next Tuesday, okay?
Sounds good.
Barton Volleyball Talk here on Sports Day here on Tuesday on KVGB.
Hey everyone, this is Cole Wright, voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Boosters help with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
If you're needing a healthcare plan for your business, let the experienced and dedicated staff at Freedom Claims Management Incorporated customize a health insurance plan that fits your business's need. Regardless if you're a large corporation or a small business on Main Street, Freedom Claims Management Incorporated can help you provide your employees with great health coverage at an affordable cost. Visit freedomclaimsinc.com where you can schedule a free, no obligation health assessment today. Freedom Claims Management Incorporated in Great Bend.
Marmy Auto Group makes it happen. Central and Western Kansas. Check out our selection of new and pre-owned inventory. Marmy's friendly staff offers top quality service that you've gotten to know over the years. When your existing vehicle needs parts or service, our experienced team will get you back in the game this season. Marmy Chevrolet, GMC, Ford and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep Ram, parts, service, and body shop. Visit Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street or marmys.net. Marmys make it happen.
Discover affordable education with Barton Online. Whether you're looking to pick up a class or earn your associate degree, we've got you covered for less than half the cost of a university. We are always enrolling with 5 sessions available this fall, including 16, 8, and 4-week sessions. Get started when it fits your schedule. Tackle your gen eds or the first 2 years of college with a low-cost pathway and save time and money with Barton Online. Visit online.bartonccc.edu and enroll today.
Sports Day is presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department. Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Sports Day also brought to you in part by the Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street in Great Bend and Eller Automotive Repair. Local mechanic that can help behind Great Bend Appliance Furniture and Sleep Source. Also, Great Bend Recreation Commission, helping to bring you Sports Day on a daily basis. Mike Hesher back in here. And we probably ought to let the on the
prowl
is not prowling today. So Mike Horse will be back tomorrow, right?
That is yes.
Okay.
That is the assumption, but you know what assuming does.
Well, sometimes when people leave, we just don't talk about them anymore. So I want to let everyone know that Mike Corson will be back tomorrow.
So will you talk about me when I'm gone?
Well, of course we will.
Okay, whatever.
Where are you going? Okay. We have inside information.
We have the best listeners.
The Green Bay Packers.
The best listeners. I got this text. The Green Bay Packer running back Josh Jacobs said that his team cannot wear its usual green during the Week 1 trip to Brazil, citing concern about gangs. They said that part of Brazil we're going to, you can't wear green at all. I guess something to do with gangs and stuff.
So are they just going as the Bay Packers?
I don't know. That's just crazy, isn't it?
Well, I mean, I know the NFL wants to become more worldwide, but what are we going to have the next? We're going to have the next year's overseas game in Beirut.
I was thinking Colombia. Go down there with Maduro and the boys.
Well, that's old news.
Okay, sorry.
You don't want to have it in Beirut. Let's see. How about the Gaza,
Iran?
The Gaza Strip Bowl? Yeah, there you go.
Right there in Jerusalem.
Okay, yeah. There was a
Yikes.
On the tweeter machine. There's this defensive back for the Philadelphia Eagles. I cannot recall his name, but he was talking about. Yeah, I know the NFL likes this. To go over. I'm not leaving the motel. I'm staying in here. I'm playing my video games. I'm not stepping outside. I'll eat food from the restaurant, but I'm not venturing out.
Brazil is a strange choice, in my opinion.
Well, it's the heart of football country.
Football,
down
correct.
there. So, all right. Great Bend.
Yes. Taking
on McPherson.
Correct. Friday night.
You've been scouting a little bit.
I have a little information.
Tell me about McPherson.
They lost a lot from last year. It looks like Carter Allen, a senior, is going to be starting. There was competition between him and a sophomore, but their head coach has decided to go with Carter Allen. He played in 2 games last year. He was 7 out of 13 for 69 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. So he may be a senior, but not a lot of experience. And they also have the best running back name ever. Catch Delaney is the running back. It'd be better than a wide receiver, obviously.
How do you spell his name?
Katch. They have it, Catch Delaney.
I like that.
I thought that was, and they have very few skill people back, so it'll be interesting.
And
they have been very successful over the years.
They've been on a heck of a run. Yeah.
I mean, I checked it out. What was it? Where's my information at? They have been to the sub-state finals, which is basically your semifinals for state, since in 22, 20, 19, and 18.
And that was a big win for the Panthers last year.
Big win. That got them off the schneid.
Yeah, Jace Pavlovich, a former Fort Hays State Tiger.
Is he really?
Yeah, he was playing when I was announcing.
I got an interview set up with him for Friday night.
Really good dude, especially when I think I called him Pavlovich his entire college career, and he didn't care.
Well, good. I'll probably screw it up tomorrow. I'll screw it up myself. So, okay, good. That's nice to know.
Yeah, Jace Pavlovich. Okay. Tomorrow on the show, John Betts, Kansas Pregame Magazine, will be joining us. We'll also talk Great Bend Panther volleyball with Shelley Duvall and Wildbrock, voice of the Fort Hays State Tigers. We'll have all the sports headlines of the day. Even Landon Winkler will come back. Or, I don't know, maybe it'll be Randy Franklin tomorrow. I'm not sure. Talk to you.